Did you know the ATF is once again targeting law-abiding gun owners, this time with a blatant disregard for court orders? Their latest move could mean that simply attaching a brace to your pistol makes it a short-barreled rifle in their eyes. That's right, even though federal judges have already ruled against their overreach, the ATF is doubling down. But what does this mean for you, me, and millions of responsible gun owners across the country? Stick around, because today I'm breaking down the ATF's latest play and what it could mean for your rights and your firearms. Before we dive into the details, let's take a quick step back. If you've been following the pistol brace saga, you know it's been a legal roller coaster. Originally designed to help shooters stabilize pistols for better control, braces became widely popular among gun owners. The ATF even gave their blessing for years, issuing letters approving their use. But then, almost overnight, they reversed course, claiming that these same braces could transform a pistol into an SBR, subject to the strict regulations of the National Firearms Act. Here's the thing. Several federal courts have already ruled against the ATF, stating they can't enforce their pistol brace ban. These rulings were meant to protect gun owners from government overreach, but now it seems like the ATF has found a sneaky workaround to push their agenda forward. This isn't just about pistol braces. It's about an agency ignoring the law and targeting people like you and me who simply want to exercise our Second Amendment rights. What I'm about to share will highlight just how far the ATF is willing to go and why every gun owner in America should be paying attention. Here's where it gets even more troubling. On December 11, 2024, a Gun Owners of America GOA member reached out to the ATF for clarification. They had just purchased a CZ Scorpion Mini Plus pistol and wanted to know if installing a pistol brace would require registering the firearm as an SBR. Seems like a straightforward question, right? Well, the response they got was anything but. The very next day, the ATF's Firearm Industry Programs Branch, FIPB, replied with a chilling statement. According to them, any pistol with an attached stabilizing brace must be registered as an SBR under federal law. Let that sink in. Despite multiple court rulings against their pistol brace rule, the ATF is essentially saying they can still enforce their interpretation of the National Firearms Act. What's worse, the email included language that raises even more questions. They claim that a firearm designed and intended to be fired from the shoulder meets the definition of an SBR, regardless of what is used as a stock. Does that mean a buffer tube on an AR-15 could now be considered a stock? How far are they willing to stretch this? This isn't just speculation. It's a deliberate move by the ATF to sidestep court rulings and redefine how firearms are classified. Their email to the GOA member is a perfect example of bureaucratic overreach, and it's left gun owners nationwide wondering, what's next? If a stabilizing brace can suddenly turn a pistol into an SBR, what else might they decide to classify in the future? This incident highlights why it's so important to stay informed and push back against government agencies when they overstep their bounds. We're not just talking about a piece of plastic or metal here. We're talking about your rights, your property, and your ability to defend yourself and your family. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. When Gun Owners of America, GOA, got wind of this, they didn't waste any time. On behalf of every gun owner out there, GOA stepped in to demand answers from the ATF. First, they sent an email to the Firearm Industry Programs Branch, FIPB, asking them to clarify their troubling position. The email was simple. Does this really represent the ATF's stance? And if so, why are they blatantly ignoring multiple federal court orders that have ruled against this exact kind of enforcement? But as you might expect, the ATF didn't respond. That's when GOA took things to the next level. They escalated the issue, addressing it directly to some of the highest-ranking officials at the ATF, Deputy Directors Andrew Lang and James Vaughn, along with Assistant Director Megan Bennett. In this second email, GOA laid out the facts and demanded immediate clarification on 3 key points. First, they insisted that the ATF confirm the FIPB's email doesn't represent their official position. Second, they demanded assurances that simply attaching a stabilizing brace to a pistol doesn't automatically classify it as a short-barreled rifle. Finally, they reminded the ATF that they are legally bound to comply with court orders, including the injunctions that prevent them from enforcing the pistol brace rule. GOA set a firm deadline, asking for a response by January 14, 2025. As of now, they're still waiting. This lack of accountability from the ATF is exactly why organizations like GOA exist, to hold agencies accountable and protect the rights of law-abiding gun owners like you and me. What's happening here is bigger than just pistol braces. The ATF's actions reveal a disturbing pattern of ignoring legal limits and pushing their authority beyond what's allowed. Let's break it down. First, there's the legal side of things. Several federal courts, including one in the Southern District of Texas, have issued rulings that explicitly block the ATF from enforcing their pistol brace rule. One court even went so far as to vacate the rule entirely, which should have nullified the ATF's claims about braces. And yet, here they are, pretending these rulings don't apply. This isn't just an overreach, it's a direct violation of the court's authority. But it doesn't stop there. The ATF is twisting the National Firearms Act to justify their actions. For decades, the NFA has been a tool for imposing unnecessary restrictions on law-abiding gun owners. By claiming that any pistol with a brace is now an SBR, the ATF is expanding the law far beyond its original intent. What's next? Will they start targeting other common firearm accessories under the guise of the NFA? Now let's talk politics. This entire situation underscores the importance of leadership at the ATF. We've already seen what happens when the agency is run by people who are more interested in targeting gun owners than enforcing laws fairly. That's why it's critical to get a pro-gun director into the ATF, someone who respects the Constitution and the rights of Americans. And let's not forget the upcoming presidential transition. President Trump has promised to rescind the pistol brace rule within his first week in office if he's re-elected. But promises only mean something if we hold leaders accountable. It's up to us to remind them what's at stake and push for real change, starting with repealing these unconstitutional rules. The ATF's actions also highlight the need to address the root problem, the NFA itself. Without it, none of this would be happening. That's why organizations like GOA are working with Congress to not only fight these specific rules, but to chip away at the NFA entirely. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about braces, it's about freedom. Now, I know some people might argue that the ATF is just enforcing the law as it's written. They'll say the National Firearms Act clearly defines what an SBR is, and the agency is simply applying that definition. Others might claim that stricter regulation of pistol braces is necessary for public safety, citing concerns over potential misuse by criminals. But let's be real here. The ATF's recent actions go far beyond enforcement. Courts have already ruled against their overreach, yet they're still finding ways to impose these restrictions. This isn't about following the law, it's about ignoring legal limits to expand their authority. If they truly cared about staying within the boundaries of the law, they'd be following the court orders that block enforcement of the brace rule. As for public safety, the reality is that pistol braces aren't the problem. They were designed to help people, especially those with physical disabilities, safely and effectively operate firearms. Criminals aren't flocking to buy braces, they're already breaking the law. What the ATF is doing doesn't stop crime, it punishes law-abiding gun owners who want nothing more than to exercise their Second Amendment rights. So the argument that this is about safety or enforcement doesn't hold up under scrutiny. What we're seeing is bureaucratic overreach, plain and simple. And if we let it slide, it sets a dangerous precedent for the future. If this situation makes you as frustrated as it makes me, then it's time to act. This isn't just a fight for pistol braces. It's a fight for our rights as gun owners and as Americans. And the only way to win is by standing together and making our voices heard. First, I encourage you to get involved with organizations like Gun Owners of America. They're on the front lines, holding agencies like the ATF accountable and fighting for our rights in courtrooms across the country. If you haven't already, sign up for their alerts and stay informed about the latest developments. Second, reach out to your representatives. Remind them that you expect them to stand up for your constitutional rights. Let them know that actions like the ATF's overreach are unacceptable, and demand that they push back against these abuses of power. Finally, don't underestimate the power of community. Share this information with your friends and family. The more people who know what's happening, the harder it will be for the ATF and other agencies to operate in the shadows. This fight isn't just about guns, it's about freedom, and every voice matters. So let's make sure they hear us loud and clear. So here's the bottom line. The ATF's latest move on pistol braces isn't just a slap in the face to gun owners. It's a direct challenge to the rule of law. By ignoring court rulings and twisting existing regulations, they're sending a clear message. They think they're above the law. But we can't let them get away with it. This issue is about more than just pistol braces. It's about defending our rights, our property, and our ability to protect ourselves and our families. If we don't stand up now, what's next? How much further will agencies like the ATF push their overreach? These are questions every gun owner should be asking. I want to leave you with this thought. Our rights aren't granted by the government. They're protected by the Constitution. And when any agency or official tries to strip those rights away, it's up to us to push back. Together we can hold them accountable and ensure that our freedoms are preserved for generations to come. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have you been impacted by the ATF's latest overreach? What steps are you taking to protect your rights? And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on this fight. Thanks for watching, and remember, freedom isn't free. It's something we must always fight for.